The man only glanced at the beautiful woman in the passenger seat. The next second, he crashed into a pedestrian head-on. The woman in the passenger seat was terrified. Suddenly, she felt something warm on her neck. When she touched it, she realized it was the eyeball of the pedestrian who had been hit. She held the eyeball in her hands and looked at the man in the driver's seat in panic, only to find that he had wet his pants from fear. Then, the pedestrian, who should have been dead, moved. Seeing he was still alive, the woman quickly put the eyeball in a plastic bag, placed it on the roof of the car, and started shouting for help. A passerby wearing a hat heard her cries and came to assist. They pulled the injured man out of the car, but the driver told them to leave everything as it was and wait for the insurance company. The man with the hat thought saving lives was more important, so he started performing CPR. But he pressed too hard and accidentally crushed the victim's stomach. The injured man, who had still been breathing, was now completely gone. The woman, seeing things getting worse, went back to the car and yelled at the man for not helping. But when she saw his soaked pants, she realized he was truly paralyzed with fear. He couldn't even stand up. As they waited for the ambulance, a large truck in the distance came speeding toward them. Upon closer look, they saw the truck driver had turned into a zombie, his head stuck through the windshield, his arms flailing wildly as the truck swerved out of control. Even worse, the dead pedestrian on the ground suddenly staggered to his feet. And it wasn't just him, the entire city had fallen. The woman couldn't understand how, just moments ago, everything had been fine. Now, after one car crash, the dead were rising as zombies. In an instant, everyone ran for their lives. The woman sprinted away and was luckily pulled into a shop by a kind owner. She had come to the city to find her soldier boyfriend. Now, she could only hope the military would rescue them. But when she called him, his phone was off. Her boyfriend was in danger too. He and his comrades were trapped in a hotel, where they had saved a waitress. The three of them prepared to fight their way out with a homemade flamethrower. At first, it went smoothly, no zombies in sight. But just as they let their guard down, a zombie leaped from behind the bar. Luckily, her boyfriend reacted fast and burned the zombie with the flamethrower. Holding their breath, they moved carefully down the hallway. Suddenly, they heard a terrifying growl. Following the sound, they found a blood-covered chef using his body to hold back the kitchen's glass door. Outside, a horde of zombies pressed against it. They rushed to help, but the glass was already cracking. Facing hundreds of frenzied zombies, could they really make it out alive?